Hey everyone, this is the Cyber Tutor. This is part 3 of access control for Portswigger. So this is horizontal to vertical privilege escalation. This is when you are conducting a horizontal privesc attack, which is when you are compromising other accounts, but those accounts don't necessarily have higher privileges than your account, so you're moving laterally rather than vertically, which would be if you have an account and you are able to gain privileges that are higher than your account. In this case, they're talking about horizontal to vertical privilege escalation. So this is when you are looking to move horizontally, but you come across something that enables you to move up vertically. So in this case, they are giving you an example. So let's say that you find this query parameter here, because remember the question mark means the beginning of a query in a URL. So you have a query here, and this query is asking for an ID. So in this case, they have ID number is 456. If you can manipulate this value, then you are able to find other accounts using their ID numbers. So that would be horizontal privilege escalation. But let's say that one of the accounts that you come across is the ID for an administrator account. If you are then able to access the admin account by plugging in their ID number, then this would be horizontal to vertical privilege escalation, because first you moved horizontally and then you moved vertically and got those admin privileges. So let's move on here. So here we have a lab user ID controlled by request parameter with password disclosure, which is another really long name and means nothing to me just when I read it. So what they're saying is that you have to you have a user account page that has the current user's existing password pre-filled out in a masked input. So that means it's probably gonna look something like this. That's what a masked input is. It's like when you're like typing in your password for a website and you can't see it when you're typing it. So it's got to be something like that. To solve this, you want to get the admin's password and then use it to delete the user Carlos. So they're talking about how the administrator's password is masked, but the thing is that when you're actually sending a request over the internet, like an HTTP request, the value of that password, even if it's masked on the screen, might not actually be masked in the request. So it kind of sounds like they're hinting us to try to get that password out of the request rather than looking directly at it. So you can log into your account using these creds, delete the user Carlos. So we have to utilize what we just learned in order to do that. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so we like to shop. Once again, we are here. Let's just click on something random. Product ID 1, we can do that. Product ID 2, doesn't really do anything. So let's go to my account. Let's see. Okay, so we can log in with our credentials that they provided for us. Okay, great. So this is our username. This is our password that we have Peter, which is in a masked state. But what we can do is if we check in Burp Suite, let's see if our password, even though it's masked, let's see if we can actually read it. So I've got a bunch of traffic here. Let's see. Login. I want to find that URL. What was it? My account $ID. So let's see if we can get that. Let's just go based off of timestamps if possible. There we go. So this is my account ID. So now let's see. So this is the response body. So this is the actual content of the request that we sent. So this is what it looks like on the back end. So you can see we're sending something called a GET request. Again, a GET is telling the server that we want something and we want it to give it back to us. So we want to get the my account ID equals wiener page. and then we get the response to that. So the My Account page is where the passwords are stored in the masked state. So let's see if we can find the password unmasked here. So we could just try searching for password and seeing if we get anything interesting. Password. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So this is proof to us because here it says input required, password, name, value, Peter. So that's bad. So that means that the password is actually being sent in plain text over the network, and it's present in the response from the server. So it doesn't matter if it's masked or not. So then what we can do is we can go in and we can use the technique that we learned to change IDs. So we could change the ID to, let's try Carlos. Let's see if he's there. Okay, so Carlos is here. So now we have Carlos's password. But the thing is that if we log in as Carlos, we're not going to be able to delete Carlos because there's no function where you can delete yourself. And also Carlos does not have access to the admin panel. But what we could do, so now that we've moved horizontally, we can try to leverage that in order to move vertically. So we could try administrator. Perfect. Administrator. So there's that masked password, which actually is not masked if you look at the request. So we could go here, down here, and we can see, perfect, My Account ID administrator. And then we want to scroll down to that same spot. And then we've got here, we've got the password value, which is, looks like just a string of letters and numbers. But that would be the administrator password, which we would use to authenticate to that admin panel. So now we can be really bad and we can log out of our original account, log in as administrator, and then get their password that we just intercepted. And perfect. Now we've got the admin panel and we can delete Carlos. So the reason why this works, the reason why you have this value here that is not seen on the website is because sometimes what happens is the web developer will make a mistake in which they're covering something or hiding something on the website using just the regular like JavaScript that's running on the client side, which means it's running on your side, not the server side. So the server is not really hiding the information. So you can see here if I inspect this element in DevTools. So this element here, you've got, let's see, So yeah, you've got this, and JavaScript is using this value, but this should really be protected and encrypted at the server level, but it's not. So it's only hidden. It's what they call the security by obscurity issue. So that's how that works. And join me again for the next one.